Okay, so I remember the first game. I was so mad. I got the stupidest penalty ever in the first game. Literally, the period ended, and I opened the door and stepped down the ice, and the ref gave me a penalty for unsportsmanlike for going on the ice too early after the period was over. Like it was just like one of those games where it was like nothing was going right. I don't know. The feeling was like it wasn't like a panic, but we were almost like, "What the hell? What's what just happened?" kind of deal. But we kind of were rolling through everybody at that point so well that we just kind of assumed that we were going to roll through them too. So it was kind of a little bit of a wake up call that this is not going to be an easy series.
Welcome to the Pickering Recreation Complex. Thomas West here. It's the Pickering Panthers and the Toronto Junior Canadiens in Game 4 of the Nutra Farms OJHL Championship Series. And the Panthers have brought this thing back to within one game and made it a series once again. The Junior Canadiens currently leading 2-1 in the Buckland Cup, but the Pickering Panthers would love to even this series up, and they think they have a pretty good chance to do it at home ice with this Mother's Day crowd in attendance. Zach Roy is going to get the start between the pipes, was pulled last game after 3 shots on goal. All 3 of them went in the game against the Toronto Junior Canadiens in Toronto. Andrew Valentine came in as backup, and the Pickering Panthers able to erase the 3-0 deficit and win 5-4 in Game 3, and now that's where we sit.
Ooh, what a big game this one's going to be. Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Buck. This is episode 4. And to catch you up on where we are in the series, the Pickering Panthers came into the OJHL finals. They'd won every single game. And then all of a sudden, they lose 2 in a row to the Toronto Junior Canadiens. But last episode, as we heard, they came back and got a big 1-goal win in Toronto at the Scotiabank Pond. Now they're back home. So it's a 2-1 series lead for the Toronto Junior Canadiens. And the Pickering Panthers are feeling pretty good. They may be down in the series, but they have a great chance to tie it up at home. And obviously the big story from last game was Lucas Rowe, who was out of the lineup and then inserted back in the lineup. And what does he do? He ties the game and wins it.
You know, based off of that, we just knew how to trust each other, and everyone wanted to be a part of it, right? And it showed there through Rosie. You know, you bring a new guy in, but we were still focused on achieving the same goal, just winning the championship, right?
I remember I interviewed Lucas Rowe after that game, and the first thing he said before the interview is like, "You're not going to ask me about being benched, right?"
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to ask you that. You better think it's some new questions. But, you know, that was something that was important to him because, you know, he was going on and looking for new opportunities, right? Like, you know, all of these players were not just playing for a Buckland Cup, but like they were playing for their future as well. So it was like, you know, that made it feel like there was just like so much more on the line in those games.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I knew what the collective goal was, and I wasn't really like, I didn't really focus on everyone else's, like, you know what I mean? Because I get everyone asks, like, they're looking to go to university, they're looking for whatever scholarships after, and it is a tough thing, right? Especially for a guy like Rosie's. He's came from a big caliber. Guy was drafted in the first round to London, right? Like, had a solid career throughout his junior time and major junior time, and he's definitely was looking to play some pro or something after, and getting scratched for a game in one of the the biggest series that we played so far is kind of a little bit of a tough look to people, right? But he was able to shut out the noise and come out and make that 2 big plays for us. And I think that showed more to everyone else. Like, this guy's, you know, he's unfazable, right? The guy was able to do something really special. So,
But all of this controversy happened because the Pickering Panthers added a 9th overager. That was Ethan Doyle. And now he's playing his 3rd game with the Pickering Panthers. Hasn't scored yet, but the Panthers still happy enough with him to keep him in the lineup. To tee this one up for a huge Game 4 tilt between the Pickering Panthers and Toronto Junior Canadiens, here's their captain in my conversation with Brendan Tomlinson before the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big home game. You got the home crowd here in today, Mother's Day, so hopefully it's rocking in here today, and I think we just try to use that momentum carried into this game and hopefully tie the series.
Yep, that was the goal. And it's also worth mentioning that the Panthers pulled their overage goalie, Zach Roy, after 3 shots last game. They were down 3-0, and they came back and won. Not that it was ever really in question, but Zach Roy was getting the start again tonight. And then, late in the first period, game tied at 0, and here comes Ethan Doyle.
Center off. Cavallin couldn't find him. Tomlinson up for Martin. Lucas Rowe goes 1-on-3. Rowe passes it back. Doyle a shot. Scores! His first of the season and first as a Pickering Panther in the playoffs. And Ethan Doyle has given Pickering a 1-0 lead.
And that right there was the big moment the Panthers were looking for. A big goal from Ethan Doyle. It put them up 1-0, and they had a lead in Game 4 of the OJHL Championship Series. And they had to win this game. The Panthers knew if they wanted to win the Buckland Cup, they needed to take this golden opportunity and tie things up at home. And Ethan Doyle, who is second in the GOJHL in scoring with the Caledonia Corvairs this season, showed that elite scoring potential as he was able to rip that puck top shelf. Now, I think it's time we highlight another player on the Pickering Panthers that played a key role in the playoffs, although it might not have been the guy that you would have expected to play a key role. This is Alexander Papaspyropoulos. This was Papaspyropoulos' rookie season in the OJHL this year. He played 37 games in the regular season, and he played hard. He was a coach's dream out there, most of the time. 2 goals, 8 assists, 10 points in the regular season for the Pickering Panthers. Didn't find the scoreboard much, but that wasn't really Alexander Papaspyropoulos' game in this season. Papaspyropoulos loved to get under the skin of the opponent, and there were multiple times already in this playoffs, but especially in this series against the Toronto Junior Canadiens, where Papaspyropoulos was getting in the head of the opposing Toronto Junior Canadian players.
I'm mic'd up, big guy. I'm mic'd up. You got anything to say or what?
And we also went mic'd up one game with Alexander Papaspyropoulos. This was during the warm-up, just to give you a bit of a taste of the delightful character that Papaspyropoulos was on the ice.
What's going on, Chief? How are ya? Ready to hum tonight or what? The ice is slippery out here, brother. Let's go. He just ate it. No, he just ate it. All on his own. The player of the month hot tonight. 6'3" looks good tonight, baby. Watch her going, big man.
Yeah, and most of that mic'd up session was Alexander Papaspyropoulos just giving it to his future line mate and assistant captain on this team, Eli Pilasov. He was a fun character on the Pickering Panthers, and whether it was trying to imitate me on the broadcast by taking my headset in the pregame warm-ups.
Hello, I'm Thomas West from the Pickering Panthers and Hockey TV.
Or just getting under the skin of the opponent on the ice. You could tell that the hard work put in by Alexander Papaspyropoulos was going to pay off at some point.
Lindsay chips it past it to Tilio into the middle. Papaspyropoulos puts it right on the table. Oh, just about a beautiful shot by Ethan Lindsay as he went through the legs. Papaspyropoulos into the corner, tries to play it back for Lindsay. He cycles it down to Papaspyropoulos, and this line has something going for the Panthers. Alexander Papaspyropoulos takes a shot, scores! Alexander Papaspyropoulos is second of the playoffs. You knew it was coming on that shift, and the Panthers take a 2-0 lead. Altomare to Littlejohn. There's some space. Littlejohn takes a shot. Rebound, scores! 3-0 Pickering Panthers. And a red-hot Lucas Rowe stays hot and puts his team up by a bunch. walks in, takes a shot, Roy the save, rebound is loose, and it ends up behind the net. Comes back into Fukakusa, what a stop by Roy. Can the Pickering Panthers clear it out to the line, but not outside the line. Fukakusa, across seam, pass to Bertrand, oh my goodness! What a save by Zach Roy, sprawling across the crease, and that's the best save we've seen all season from anyone.
And now that we have some distance from that game, I would say that call holds up. That probably was the best save we've seen all season by anyone in the OJHL. Zach Roy fully sprawled out, reaching as far as he could with his catching glove. He actually started from outside the blue paint on the wrong side of the crease and snared that shot into what looked like an absolutely wide open cage for Bertrand, and he caught it. It was unbelievable. I think it's still the best save I've ever seen in the OJHL. And that would be enough. The Panthers added an empty net goal by Lucas Lapalme and won. So here we are, a brand new series, 2-2 between Pickering and Toronto. You know, I assume that's kind of the part of this series where you're like, all right, like game on, we're in this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all that it takes is to win one, right? Like we won, I guess we won 2 in a row, but like you win the first one and it's kind of like, okay, like, right, yeah, we're back. This is what we're supposed to be doing. I think we're back on the right track. And then obviously win the second one and it's a best of 3 again, which we had, lots of success with in the past.
That was an interesting point by Cale Cavallin, because for the Pickering Panthers, they'd been playing 3 and 5 game series all the way through. 2-2 in a series, this was the deepest that they'd ever gone with any team so far in this playoff run. So before we get you to a crucial Game 5 between Pickering and JRC, I think we should tie a bow on the Lucas Rowe saga. Because we haven't even got to maybe the most click-worthy thing that Lucas Rowe had done all season. Lots of goals, tied for the team lead in scoring, but there was one particular goal that Lucas Rowe put his name on. Now, we're recording this podcast in December of 2025, and at this point, the Michigan goal is a pretty popular thing in hockey. A lot of kids know how to do it. It's something that's tried quite often, whether it be in minor hockey or the National Hockey League or throughout the hockey ranks. And if you're not familiar with the Michigan goal, or the lacrosse goal as some people call it, it's basically where you pick the puck up on your stick, you're behind the net, and then you throw it into the top corner of the net with your stick, almost like you're a lacrosse player, or you're holding the lacrosse ball on your lacrosse stick. And it looks almost impossible to pull off, but with practice, players get really good at it, and they can pick that puck up on their stick with some consistency. But a couple of years ago in 2022 during this playoffs, or 2021, when Lucas Rowe was playing in the regular season, it wasn't as popular. It was kind of just getting to the height of its popularity. And Lucas Rowe was all over trying to set the trend. He had tried multiple times throughout the regular season to score a Michigan goal. That was a side goal of his throughout the season. And one game against the Aurora Tigers, he came really close.
Pickle throws it down for Rowe. Rowe has some time behind the net. He picks it up. Oh, we just about got a lacrosse-style goal.
That puck hit the crossbar, and everyone was looking around thinking, oh man, he might actually be able to do this. And what do you know? Later on in the season, Pickering Panthers taking on the Markham Royals, and Lucas Rowe. He did it.
Playing it for Rowe. That one just went wide. Papaspyropoulos, Lucas Rowe behind the net, and there it is! He's tried it a couple times, and the Michigan-style goal for Lucas Rowe.
And that wasn't even close to the craziest part of this whole story. So Lucas Rowe, when he's done playing with the Pickering Panthers, because you know he's an overager this year, so this is his last year in junior hockey. The very next season, he gets signed to the Carolina Thunderbirds in the FPHL, or the Fed, as a lot of people like to call it. That's pro hockey. So he's playing professional hockey for the first time in his career. And As you know, this series comes from Beyond the Buck, the episode series. There's 2 seasons of it on the Pickering Panthers YouTube channel. So I was filming with Ryan Johnstone the next season, the 22-23 season. And I had no idea this happened. But Ryan Johnstone, right before we're about to do the interview, I hit record on the camera, and he tells me this.
Did you see his goal the other night?
Who?
LeBros.
Really?
His first he's playing in the Fed. He scored a lacrosse goal as his first goal as a pro. It was disgusting.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw it this morning. It was unreal.
That's insane.
Back behind the net, Lucas Rowe wants to Michigan, and he scores! Lucas Rowe of Michigan with 3.7 left in the second period, and he has shocked the crowd in Port Huron.
Do you remember watching his first goal in the Fed?
Yeah, the lacrosse move. I was playing. I don't know how to do that, man. I play men's league now for fun, and I was actually behind the net the other day, like Sunday, and I had the puck, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, I need Rosie here to give me a lesson on how to do lacrosse. I don't know how to do that. That's unbelievable. And you see it now in like younger players nowadays. Like I help train my little cousins now here and there, and their friends here and there, and they're always trying to do the stupid lacrosse move. And it never, I get there trying. I'm like, how many times do you do this in a game? But then you got a guy like Lucas Rowe that just makes it look easy, right? But yeah, he's capable of those things. The guy's a skilled hockey player, right? So
yeah. Now that we're a couple years away from that season, do you have any insight on what Rob Pearson actually thought of the Michigan goal?
I mean, when it works, Rob loves it. Rob loves anything when it works. When it doesn't work, he'll let you know. But yeah, I mean, Rob gave us the freedom, man. Like, he let us do our thing. Obviously, there was times where he had to come kind of, check us in and, level us down a little bit. But for the most part, he knew how to manage a bunch of overagers. And, I mean, he's got a kid our age, so he knew. I mean, he played hockey growing up too, and I mean, the guy played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so he knows team dynamics, and that's why he was so valuable to us. So yeah, he set the standard pretty straight for us, and gave us a lot of leash, and yeah, that was another reason why we were so successful.
So you guys come away with a 4-0 win in Game 4. Now you're right back in the series. It's 2-2, and that's when the marathon starts in Game 5.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about it. I remember looking at Huts I was looking at a bunch of the guys. I score a goal. I scored a few goals during but I don't score much. You know what I mean? My job was go out, play against the other team's top line or whatever, or power play, set up guys, whatever. But I'm looking around. My feet are killing me. Because my skates are, I'm looking around, I'm like, Huts, can you score a goal, please, or something? Because my feet are killing me, man.
Welcome here to the Scotiabank Pond. My name is Jaron Kligman, and tonight it is Game 5 of the 2022 Nutrifarms OJHL Championship Series between the visiting Pickering Panthers and your Toronto Junior Canadiens. Series even up at 2. This is a big game ahead. Stick save by him, but the Canadiens keep it alive. Fukakusa, Bertrand, toe drag, scores! Off the redirection! It's Christian Catalano! Canadiens are going to take a 1-0 lead in this Game 5 showdown. Fukakusa, Martin hands it off. Tomlinson comes in, onside, shot, kicked out. Warren, second chance. Oh, Warren down, but they score. It's Doyle. Warren pleading his case for interference. Doyle scores, and the Panthers have tied it. Selby still with his arms out.
Man, Ethan Doyle again ties the game 1-1. That goal from Doyle came midway through the second period, and this was interesting. So you heard Jaron Kloitman there talking about Selby Warren and how he was complaining about that goal. And if I was Selby Warren, I probably would be as well. So Ethan Doyle cross-checks the defender into the goaltender Selby Warren. Warren falls down, and then Doyle's just sitting all alone in front of the net and flicks it into the empty cage. So there was a lot of protest from the Junior Canadiens bench on that goal, but it goes the Pickering Panthers' way. So no goalie interference, and bookmark this one for later, because this becomes an interesting storyline later on. So that goal came midway through the second period, and then there was no scoring in the third, and then in the first overtime,
Scramble ensues. Pilasov first on the puck. Down below the goal line. Pilasov shielding, waits towards. Ooh, Hutton at the side. Almost banged it home. Second, he scores. No goal. They're going to wave it off. They have waved it off. Dustin Hutton had scored. They are going to wave it off, deeming that the net had come off the moorings. This is going to cause an absolute riot at the pond tonight. Hutton had it pried out from behind the net, whirled it out in front as Warren drew the net off the moorings. Face-off will come to the left of Selby Warren. The Panthers thought they had won it, but ultimately the officials decided that it was no goal on that play.
Oh no. Dustin Hutton and the entire Panther team, except for Jake Partridge, who was standing beside the net protesting because he was the first one that saw it got waved off, they started sprinting down the ice. Like, Dustin Hutton was on his way to the goaltender Zach Roy, and they had started celebrating. And the referee waved it off. And it was probably the right call. It was very unlucky for the Pickering Panthers because the goaltender Selby Warren knocked the net off as he was pushing over. It probably would have been a goal if the net had stayed on. But the net looked like it was off before the puck had crossed the line, so it was no goal. And now we take you to midway through double OT. And by the way, whoever scores the next goal all of a sudden has the decisive 3-2 series lead. This game could be the series.
The stick, Wild pounces on it. Deep now for Fukakusa. Altomare there first. He'll tightrope around to the far side and up ahead. Now for Partridge. Partridge sends it off of the end boards, looking to grab the loose puck. Bounce at the side, and the Panthers are going to win this game and take a 3-2 series lead. It's Dustin Hutton, the overtime winner, and Pickering is one win away from the Buckland Cup. What a game! 2-1 in double overtime.
And you just couldn't have wrote the script any better. Dustin Hutton, the guy who, an overtime earlier, had what he thought was the game-winning goal called off. He was going down the ice to celebrate, and then had to turn around and look and see that that goal was waved off. And then he's the one who gets the overtime winner. And, you know, I think when the Pickering Panthers came into this series, just talking to some of the staff and the coaching staff, we all thought that we should win the series. I mean, if you get to the Buckland Cup, you're thinking you're going to win it. Like, that's the expectation. But then when you go down 2-0 in a series, everything was going so well, and then everything was going so badly, and then you see your team come back and win 3 games in a row, there was just a lot of pride. There was a lot of pride everywhere, in the locker room, from the fans, and from everyone on the staff as well. And what a moment that was for Dustin Hutton to be able to deliver that for the Pickering Panthers. Unbelievable. By the way, just to give you the visual on that goal, it was messy in front of the net. It was really messy. Selby Warren had his defenseman run into him again. This time it was by no fault of a Pickering Panther. And then Hutton was able to flip it into the empty cage. It was a messy double overtime goal, but nobody deserved it more than Dustin Hutton. He was so good for the Pickering Panthers in the playoffs. Unbelievable. He was great for the Panthers in the regular season. 45 points in 42 games. This goal was Dustin Hutton's 8th goal of the playoffs already, and they wouldn't have made it here without him. 2 game-winning goals in the very first series against Stouffville, and then another game-winning goal. 3 game winners out of his 8. Unbelievable player. And Dustin Hutton was actually quite similar to Lucas Rowe, a guy who played in the Ontario Hockey League for his whole junior career. Started out with the Peterborough Petes, played a couple seasons there, then got traded to the Kingston Frontenacs later on, then lost his entire OHL season, what would have been 1 year before his OA season, to COVID. They didn't play that year in the 2021 season, didn't play at all with the Kingston Frontenacs. Then came to the Pickering Panthers, which, you know, for all of these players, admittedly, it was a step down from the Ontario Hockey League. But Dustin Hutton stepped up, especially in the playoffs for Pickering. So the Panthers have a chance to write their storybook ending. A 3-2 series lead and a chance to win the Buckland Cup back home at the Pickering Recreation Complex. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to episode 4 of Beyond the Buck, and in the next one, we'll take you through the conclusion of the Buckland Cup Finals.